Hi guys, Jody here. Thanks so much for tuning in. Just wanted to do a tag for you today. I was watching a video of the tag About Me from Miss Tango 2, who is one of my Australian friends here on YouTube, and thought that I would do the tag as well since I've been posting videos here on YouTube for a few months now, and just thought I would do this tag just to share with you guys a little bit about me. So if you have any comments or anything about yourselves that you would like to share, please feel free to do a video reply or comment on any one of these questions down below, or just do this tag on your own channel and I will find you, at least if I'm subscribed to you, or comment below and let me know that you've done it and I'll find you. So I'll get started here. There are how many questions? 24 questions. So the first question, do you have a middle name? Yes, I do. My middle name is the same middle name that my mother had, and my mother's mother, and my mother's mother's mother. And that is Marguerite, and I really did not like it growing up. I did not like Marguerite. I think it's Spanish for daisy or a little flower, but I just didn't think it was very pretty and feminine growing up. But I love that it has been passed down the maternal side. That's absolutely awesome, and I think I made peace with it when I became a teenager and discovered alcohol, and alcohol was really cool I should say, and Marguerite sounded a lot like margarita, which I'm going to mention again in a future category here in this tag. So anyway, I do have a middle name. It is Marguerite. Question number 2, what was your favourite subject in school? My favourite subject in school, I would say, would be maths. I loved maths, and you'll find from my answers to a lot of these questions that I'm a little bit wishy-washy. I like to sit on the fence about things. I can always see both sides of a situation and you know, see the pros and cons of everything. But what I love about maths is that it's so finite, and there's a, you know, there's a right and a wrong, and it's very methodical, and there's a process that is very black and white to go from, you know, Y to Z. And so I loved maths for that reason, I think, and that was one of the subjects that I was pretty good at, I would say. So number 3, what's your favourite drink? That's a really hard one. I would say probably besides water, my most frequently drunk drink would be iced coffee, and that would have been the biggest thing that I miss if ever I'm not living in Western Australia, where, you know, it's local dairies that make the iced coffee. I don't mind if it's Master's iced coffee or Brown's iced coffee. You West Australians know what I'm talking about. Even in Sydney, they don't make the same iced coffees. They make them very, very sweet over east, and then you don't get anything like the iced coffees, like the Masters or the Brown's iced coffees in America, where we lived for 7 years without any iced coffee. So I usually have one of those a day, the light ones, and love them. So I would say iced coffee. If it was an alcoholic drink, it would be a toss-up between champagne or bubbly, and yeah, margaritas. You can't go past a margarita. I was born in Tucson, Arizona, close to the Mexican border, and there's nothing like a margarita with a salt-rimmed glass. Oh, love it. It's perfection. I just don't drink them very much. So question number 4, what is your favourite song at the moment? Don't know about my favourite song. I pretty much have, I don't know, I guess I'm in an age now where, you know, it takes a lot to get a new favourite song. I've got some pretty classic favourite songs. But my favourite, the song that I listen to at the most frequency right now would be Hot and Cold by Katy Perry. My kids love it when I play it. I play it in the car. I drop my daughter to school twice a week, and we listen to it in the car every single drop-off morning, and she sings along. My 5-year-old knows all the words to the chorus and my 3-year-old has started learning. We listen to it in the bath a lot as well, just to get them energized and to stop fighting, just to make bath time a happy experience. And then of course we're a bit hooked on MasterChef right now. This season is the first time that my husband and I have watched the show. It's pretty much the only television that we watch, but MasterChef I think is on 6 nights a week now, so we do tape it and we probably fit it in over probably 3 nights a week. We watch those episodes, and of course the theme song for MasterChef is Katy Perry's Hot and Cold. So pretty much any given day I've got that song going around and around and around in my head, and I like it. It's a good thing. It's not one of those songs that you hate that won't get out of your head. So it would be that. Katy Perry. Let's see. Number 5, what would you name your kids? Well, I do have kids and I named them what I would name them, and my firstborn is named Jade Amber, and I love that there's a story behind that. When I married my husband, I did not take his last name, but we gave our daughters my husband's last name. So because they were getting my husband's last name, I wanted to give them something from the maternal side of the family, and unlike Marguerite, I came up with another way to carry on the maternal side down to my daughters, and I'm lucky enough to have 2 beautiful girls and to be able to continue that maternal thing down. So basically, my mum's mum, her name is Diamond, and she has sisters called Pearl and Ruby and Coral, and their mum, my great-grandmother, her initials were G-E-M, Gem, so she named all of her daughters after precious gems, and no one got the name Jade. So I love Jade. I love the name Jade, and because it has that sort of meaning as well passed down the maternal side, I just thought Jade would be a perfect first name for my daughter. And then Amber, another precious gem or stone, was what I was going to be called when I was born if I didn't get Jodie. I can't remember if it was, I think it was my mum that wanted Amber and my dad won with Jodie, or the other way around. But anyway, Amber was going to be it was in the short list of names, either Jodie or Amber. Jodie won out, so Jade got Jade Amber. She's named after precious gems, and that's the maternal side of it. My second born actually was named after flowers, and she's Lily Rose. I love the name Lily and love the name Rose, and my great-grandmother on my mum's dad's side, she was named after flowers too. So I like again that that's just, you know, passed down from my girls from my side of the family. So Jade Amber and Lily Rose. And if we were going to have a little boy, before any of our children were born, we had decided that we would call our little boy Jack. It's just a real boy name. But my best friend had a little boy and named her boy Jack. So I'm glad that we both don't have boys called Jack, because that would be pretty confusing. Next question. Do you participate in any sports? No. Number 7, favourite book. Gosh, it's been a while actually since I've picked up a book. YouTube keeps me pretty busy. The kids keep me pretty busy, and I go through phases of reading books. And I don't think I've got a Kindle, which I loved when I got, and I haven't used it for probably about a year. So I think it's been a year since I've read a book from front to back, besides parenting books, and besides makeup books like Bobbi Brown's and Kevin Aucoin's books. Yeah, it's been a long time. Probably the Twilight series were the last books that I read, and that was a while ago. Which is not usual for me. But I do remember, I would say, one of my favourite books that I could not put down was Wally Lamb. I think, yeah, it was an Oprah Winfrey book. It was years ago, like over 10 years ago. It's called I Know This Much Is True. It's about 800 or 900 pages long. It's a big, thick book, and I loved it. I couldn't tell you too much about it now, because that was probably about 10 years ago that I read it, but loved it. Could not put it down. I Know This Much Is True. And hey, Oprah Winfrey, she knows what she's talking about, I'll tell you that much. Number 8, favourite colour. I don't really have one. I love yellow because it's bright and happy, but I love black and white because they're nondescript. I think that's more of a sitting on the fence, but you know, black is sort of all, black and white are just, I guess they're not technically colours, but they're all encompassing. They say so much without saying anything as finite as yellow might say, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I'll go with that. So black and white would be my favourite, but if I had to name something other than black or white, if you want to be technical about what's a colour and what's not, I would say yellow or orange, some kind of happy, sunshiny colours. But I love all colours. There's a time and a place for all colours. I have love of all colours. Number 9, favourite animal. Anything that's cute and fluffy and lovely, really. Big fluffy, I can't even remember the name of the dog, but I remember when I was learning piano when I was a young child, my piano teacher had a huge, humongous white fluffy dog, and I can't remember what the breed is right now, but it was huge and it was fluffy. It had like a fluff layer about that thick, and I'm sure it would be a nightmare to keep clean, but oh, I loved wrapping my arms around that Penny dog. Her name was Penny and she was so cute. Number 10, favourite perfume. I would say that would be Joy. Joy is just roses. It's just a classic, beautiful smell. Joy. Jean Patou, I think is how you would say that name. I'm not sure. Number 11, favourite holiday. I've been on a lot of holidays, and my favourite ones would be road trips. I love road trips because you just get in the car and you all get along, and you know, you see the journey. It's about the journey as much as the destination, and yeah, I love road trips. Any road trips, you just put on that music and you're on the go, on the move, and I love it. It's perfection. And every time that we go on a road trip, we have a tradition of playing the song from National Lampoon's Vacation. Is that how they say it? Yeah. Holiday Road. I love it. We've got 3 different versions on the iPod, and they get played in rotation, and the kids love it. So Holiday Road is the favourite song for the road trips. Let me see. Next question, number 12. Have you graduated high school? Yes, I have. Thank goodness. Number 13. Have you ever been out of the country? Yes, I have. I was born mainly between Australia and America. I was born in America to Australian parents, and was sort of back and forth basically between Australia and America, most recently moving back to Australia after 7 years in the States, living in Northern Virginia, Washington DC area, and California, San Jose, just south of San Francisco area, and loved it. Loved both. I miss both, but I also love being back in Perth too. So there's lots more of the world to see that I haven't seen already, and I look forward to enriching my life's experiences with more travel, and doing that with my kids as well as my husband, who, yeah, I call him a gypsy. He's been everywhere already, but there's more places to discover that I'm looking forward to going to. Let me see. If so, how many times? Yeah, I think I've covered that. Number 14, do you speak any other language? Not really. I speak English fluently. I don't speak any other language fluently, but it's terrible. I've learned quite a few different languages in school, but it's only been like a year of each. I've learned, let's see, at school, Italian, German, Japanese, French, and then I know some Spanish from Dora, and reading Dora and Diego books to my children. So I can get by in a Spanish restaurant, but I don't speak anything fluently. I really wish I did, because I love it. It's great. And I admire anyone who does speak fluently in more than one language. I love listening to people speak different languages. Number 15, how many siblings do you have? I have a few siblings. I have a sister. I grew up with my sister, and she's 2 years older than me, and we're very close. We've been through a lot together, and I was lucky that even in my teens, my sister did not exclude me from hanging out with her friends. So, you know, often we had, you know, boyfriends who were friends, and we'd all be able to hang out together. She taught me so much, and I looked up to her so much. I still do. And I just feel very fortunate as well to have 2 girls to experience that closeness, because there's nothing like, you know, I think that bond that a sister shares with another sister. And I do also have a brother, Stuart, and Stuart and I grew up together, and he's 10 years younger than me, and I still remember the first time I saw him in the hospital with my mum, this precious little baby, and we would play with him and dress him up as Goldilocks and all kinds of things. I was 10 and my sister was 12 when he was born, and we had a lot of fun with him. Mum was going to let us choose. If he was a girl, we were going to be able to choose his name, and we had decided that Madonna Ciccone, being the middle name, would be his name if he was a girl. So it's really fortunate that he came out a boy, and his name is Stuart, and he's not made fun of as much as someone named Madonna Ciccone and then their last name would be. Oh, I would have been feeling very bad about that at this point in time. Our little sister Madonna. Anyway, so next question, and I do actually also have another brother on my father's side, but we did not grow up together, so we're not as close, unfortunately. But his name is Hunter. Number 16, what is your favorite store? I would say these days my favorite store is eBay. Only thing about eBay is that obviously you can't swatch or get that hands-on experience, so I don't buy clothes from eBay, which is unfortunate. My favorite low-cost store for clothes would be Tempt, T-E-M-T, here in Australia. And I have just discovered Colette accessories for rings and for all jewelry basically, and the price is right at Colette, and they have awesome stuff. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of like the Forever 21 range, but really good selection, really good prices there at Colette accessories. In the United States, I did love Forever 21. That would have been, yeah, probably my favorite store. Loved Banana Republic clothes as well, just sort of classic tailored clothes that weren't too overpriced. But yeah, really liked those shops. Next question, number 17, favourite restaurant. I don't really have a favourite restaurant here in Australia. If I had to choose one, I would choose Hans Cafe. Food is a lot more expensive. Eating out is a lot more expensive here in Australia, and eating out with children is a lot more difficult here in Australia than it is in the US. We used to be able to go to Outback Steakhouse in America, which we loved. We'd always get the same thing, this teriyaki ribeye, and the family of 4 of us, granted, you know, my little children were very small, like 1 and 3 or younger, but a family of 4 of us would order one meal, and we'd get an extra Caesar salad on the side, and the 4 of us would share one meal for less than $30, including dessert, at Outback Steakhouse, and it was an awesome, delicious, perfectly cooked steak, delicious meal. You can't, I think probably to feed the 4 of us at McDonald's is around $30 here. Close to $30. If we go to a food hall at the mall, we're spending about $30, and we're not eating any more food here than we were there. And then over in Australia, there's just less child-friendly places. You walk into a restaurant, just about any restaurant in America, and you know they hand you crowns, and they have high chairs, and they have when you've got babies, they've got baby changing tables, and it's just easy to get around with kids in America. They don't want to give you any reason not to come into their restaurant basically, and kids, having kids is included in that. In Australia, it's just a lot more difficult. Services, people don't get tipped in this country, so there's much less of an incentive to get good service, and that is a huge difference that you notice going from one country to the other. So when you've got little children, getting food out quickly is very important. You sort of want to get in and out. You don't have a nice relaxed 3-hour meal like you did before children. So because things just take ages and it's a lot more expensive, we just don't eat out as much anymore. In America, I will say my favorite restaurant chain was Maggiano's. I loved Maggiano's with Cheesecake Factory and Chipotle. Oh my gosh, I miss those Chipotle bowls so much. If I went to America tomorrow, the first place I would go to from the airport would be a Chipotle for a chicken burrito bowl. Oh my gosh, loved those. Cheesecake Factory, Chipotle. Potbelly sandwich works if you live in the Washington DC area. The potbelly sandwiches were awesome. And I was saying that in Australia, I guess I would choose Hans Cafe. I think that's just a Perth chain, but Hans Cafe is sort of a really discounted Asian food. We can find stuff for our kids, and it's relatively child friendly. It's not an elegant white tablecloth restaurant, and so they're pretty fast, and they will get prawn crackers out at the very least in a hurry, so you can start giving your children prawn crackers while you're waiting for the main meal to come out. This video is running quite long, I think, isn't it? So we're nearing the end though. We're nearing the end. Number 18, do you like school? Yes, I think school is wonderful. I'm very glad that school is there. I'm very glad that we have great public schools here in Australia. We did not really have that in the areas we could afford to live in California. So that was a concern for me, was sending our kids to what school over there. Very fortunate that our tax dollars do go towards some pretty decent public schools here. But I think the question was, did I like school really, considering that I'm not in it anymore? And I did. I loved it. My mum was a school teacher, and I loved it. My sister and I, to play, we would come home from school and we would play schools at home and give each other question cards and stuff that, you know, mum had salvaged. And yeah, I was definitely a schoolie. Number 19, favourite YouTuber. I have a lot of favourite YouTubers for so many different reasons. I love the variation between YouTubers, so many different talents and things that people bring to the table. Sometimes it's just someone's smile or someone's accent or the tone of their voice or the tutorials or the lighting or whatever. There's so many different things that you could love. But I would say that probably the person that I really like, I don't really care what she's saying in her video or what her video's on, I just purely love watching her because she's just a delight, would be Juicy Tuesday. I love her. She's just a delight. There's really not much more to say about that. Love her. Favourite movie, I would have to say Forrest Gump would be a close second to Love Actually. I love Actually. It's a beautiful, touching movie. Every time I watch it, I get something else out of it. Yeah, Love Actually. Number 21, favourite TV show. Growing up, my favourite TV show would have been Family Ties. I had the hots for Michael J. Fox like nothing else. Probably because my older sister had the hots for Michael J. Fox, but boy, I did too. Now, it would be MasterChef, I think, because it's the only TV show that we watch now. But I do love Modern Family. That was one thing that I was really missing when we left America last year to come to Australia. I asked around pretty quickly, do we get Modern Family here on TV yet? And everyone looked at me like I didn't know what I was talking about, or like they didn't know what I was talking about. And then finally it came back on and I was able to yeah, enjoy some more Modern Family fun. It's just a beautiful sitcom. Not only is it funny, you know, there's something to appeal to everyone in that show, which I really, really like. You can all just relate to it. Everyone can relate to something in that show. But what else was I going to say about that show? I can't remember what I love about it. But it's just awesome, hilarious. PC or Mac? Definitely PC. I don't have anything against Mac, but I just have never had a MacBook, or, you know, I've always had a PC. And I've lost my screen. So I do have an iPad and some iPhones, and I think the world of Apple. I just have never gotten an Apple computer. What kind of phone do you have? I have an iPhone and I love it so much that I have two. I have one for work and one personal one, as I shared with you in the what's in my bag tag. Number 24, how tall are you? I'm about 5'10". And it's just tall enough to be tall, but it's not so tall that you tower over everyone. And, you know, my husband's still taller than me. So that's how tall I am. Video's going on long enough. I'm going to stop right now. Hope you enjoyed. Please share your answers to any of those questions. I would love to get to know you too. Have a beautiful day and we'll see you again really soon. Bye guys.